Hey guys, Shane with Excessive Performance. I got a comment this week regarding setting up a Floyd Rose tremolo. Somebody had gotten their guitar, and once they started trying to tune it to pitch, my guess is that they were trying to tune it to a pitch that the original owner had tuned to a different pitch. So say he was trying to tune to standard E, and the original owner had it tuned down half a step. What that will do is that will cause the tension on the springs to be different than the tension on the strings. And then once you start tuning, what happens is the string tension starts pulling the bridge up, and as you get this string in tune, it makes the string go flat. And as you go across the strings, it just makes the strings get more and more and more out of tune, and basically you end up with your bridge way up in the air or way down into the guitar. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to fix that today, and exactly how I go about making that work. So let's begin. You need very few things to accomplish this adjustment. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver to adjust the springs. You're going to need an Allen key to lock and unlock the nut. And then you're going to need whatever you come up with, a lighter, stack of picks, a professional tool to lock the bridge down. There's multiple ways to do that, but like I said, this works out great because if it's not where you want it, you just add and remove tape and it gets the job done. And then of course you're going to need a tuner. There's plenty of places to get tuners. You can get apps, you can buy a pedal, you can have a rack mount. I have a rack mount, but honestly I tend to use my phone because it's so handy. It's right there in my hand 90% of the time. So those are the tools you're going to need. So stick around and I'll show you what we're going to do to make it work. So to start off, I have detuned my guitar, made it all whack so I can show you this. But the first thing we need to talk about is how this bridge actually works. Okay, so you've got the bridge post here. This is going to raise and lower the bridge into the guitar. That's going to determine your string height on the guitar. Then you're going to have your fine tuning knobs. You're going to have your string retainers. What they do is this screw goes through and it pinches the string into the block. Okay, and then on the back side of the guitar, you have your springs and these screws that will release or add more tension to the springs. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get an equilibrium between the string tension and the spring tension, and that's what we're going to show you how to do. All right, to start this process, basically you need to loosen the nut. Okay, I've already pre-loosened these so I can do it by hand. That way we can tune the guitar with the actual tuners. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to raise one of your fine tuners all the way up, the next one put it all the way down, and then put your tuning machines in their middle position. That way they can be raised or lowered depending on what that string needs once you start doing the fine tuning process. Once you've done that, you need to find something to block the bridge. So depending on what bridge you have and what block you have in that bridge is going to determine what you need. They do have tools that go in here for this purpose that are like stair-stepped, but what I found is it's easiest just to find something like this battery and wrap enough tape around it to get you what you're looking for. And what you're looking for is you're looking for that bridge to be completely flat with the surface of the guitar. As you can see here, it is dropped down. That's why it's out of tune. And once I put the block in, it will be perfectly flat. Okay, let's put the block in. All right, so we have got enough of the tape removed from the battery to the point to where the bridge is perfectly flat with the body. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tune the guitar. And what that's going to do is going to put tension on the strings and we'll push them against that battery. And that's going to act as a block. That way we can tune this bridge just like if it was a hardtail bridge. And once we get that done, that's when we start the process of equalizing the spring tension. So first things first, let me get this thing tuned up because you can see quite out of whack. So I'll get it tuned up and we'll be right back. Okay, so it's tuned up. We've got the bridge blocked. The nut is unlocked, but the next step is we're going to lock the nut. And what that does is that's going to lock the tension that the strings need to be in tune to the pitch that I've tuned them to, which is a half a step down. And then once we equalize the pressure on the springs, the bridge should float right between those two tensions evenly. All right, so once we got everything in tune with the bridge locked, we will go ahead and lock the nut down. Okay, these don't have to be super tight, basically just enough to clamp the strings so they're not going to slide anymore. You can strip these out if you go crazy on them, but like I said, they don't take a whole lot of tension, maybe 5-10 foot-pounds at most. But yeah, you don't want to go crazy on them because like I said, they're just torquing down. You don't want them to be loose to where when you use the bar that the strings will slip in them. Or what I like to do, I just like to tighten the strings till the bridge floats about even where it was at, and then you can start fine-tuning from there. So let me get that done. I'm going to tighten these up because right now the bridge, the back of the bridge is raised up, if you can see that. Okay, and what that's going to do when I tighten the spring screws, it's going to pull the back of the bridge down. And just a reminder, we're trying to equalize this string tension of all the strings with the tension on the springs. So let me get that tightened up a little bit. So gave the spring screws a few turns, and now the back of the bridge is more leveled out, and I will start using the tuner now to fine tune adjust it. But as you can see, it is pretty close to being in tune just by using the springs to get the bridge back to where it was when it was being blocked. Now you can fine tune it with the springs and get it even closer. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll use the tuner. Okay. All right. So we've got the nut locked. We've got the block out of the guitar, and it is now in tune. The bridge is level with the body. We are maybe a few percents off on our fine tuning, and that's where the fine tuning screws are going to come into play. You will individually tune these. Like I said, they are on my tuner, they're all in green, but they may be up or down just a tiny bit, and that's what the fine tuners are going to be used for. So I'm going to give that a go, and then I will finish up the video. All right, guys, and there you have it. Perfectly in tune. You can do dive bombs, you can pull, you can do whatever you want. It's going to be in tune. Now, if you're doing this with new strings, I suggest that you stretch those springs in before you do your final adjustments. What I usually do in that scenario is I leave the block in the bridge and I play the guitar for a while, and then I may take the block out of the bridge and really stretch the strings with the tremolo bar. But after doing so, then you can lock the nut down after you get it in tune and go through the process that we just talked about. The main thing is, as long as you're not changing gauges of strings, you should be able to just change your strings without having to do hardly any tweaking at all. But once you get this figured out and how it works, and figure out your system, how you're going to do it, what you're going to use for the bridge block and things like that, it takes less than 5-10 minutes to actually get the Floyd Rose set up. All right, guys, and that's it for this one. I hope that helps you if you're having problems getting your Floyd Rose set up or being able to maintain it after a string change. If you like this content, please give me a like and a subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. If you have any other ideas as far as things that you would like to see, please hit me up in the comments and let me know what those would be, because that's where this video came from. All right, guys, have a good weekend.